back once again. So I've cut it out on my fabric, as you can see. In case you don't know how to transfer markings from pattern paper to fabrics, this was what I did. If you can remember, this is the front piece, okay, which we splitted into two because of the front slits. Okay, so to transfer it out on the paper, on our fabric, you will have to take note of the allowances. So on this, I gave allowances of half an inch here, half an inch here, and then on the side, for the side seam allowance, half an inch will not be enough, so you give either 1 inch or 1.5 inches. So for me, I'm working with 1 inch for the side seam. Hemline, I gave 2.5 inches allowance. I'll explain that during the process of sewing. And then on this very one too, for the side, I gave 1 inch, and then here half an inch, then the hemline 2.5 inches still. Okay, so this is the fabric we'll be using to work. Let me put aside the pattern papers and continue explaining. Now I've cut out our lining. Can you see? This is the lining, exactly the same size with this, with a difference on the hemline, where the lining is 2 inches shorter than the main fabric. Okay, and this is the same thing, everywhere the same, then the lining 2 inches shorter. Here is for the back. For the back, you cut this out twice. Okay, so and that's what I've done. For the markings, it was the same thing. For the side seam allowance, I gave 1 inch, then every other part I gave half an inch, and then the hemline 2.5 inches. It's basically the same thing. Okay, let me keep it aside and show you what we are having. So this is one part, and this is the lining for it. Okay, and this is another part, and here is the lining for it. So this is exactly how you are going to cut out your skirt. Now it's time to sew the skirt. First of all, let me show you what we'll be doing on the front skirts. Okay, separated the lining, so we want to start off. You just place it together this way. Just watch me. Okay, you use your pins and secure. Let me just quickly secure it. So here I've secured it. Can you see? I'll just pin it down. Always pin when you are sewing so as to be accurate. So this is what we'll be having after sewing it. Can you see? Okay, and also I have measured the length of slit I want. It depends on the length of your skirt and where you want the slit to stop. You can measure from your waistline to where exactly you want the slit to stop. Okay, and then sew and stop there. So I haven't secured this with my pins. I will just go to my machine and sew with allowance of half an inch. Remember, you gave allowance of half an inch here, so I'll be sewing this line down with an allowance of half an inch to this very point that I have marked, where my slit will be starting from. Okay, so as you can see, I've joined it together using my machine and leaving out the slits. Okay, so what you will do next, you have to press on this to press the seam very flat on both sides. So after which, now attach the front lining. Okay, this is how you will attach the front lining. Just watch. Okay, remember we cut the lining out in the same size apart from the hemline. So this is how you it's on your machine this way. Can you see? Just watch me. You place it like this. I'll be using my pin to secure it so that you know exactly what I'll be doing on my machine. Can you see? This is how you're expected to hold it together. Let me use my pin. Can you see what we have here? Okay, you place it like this, just on one part of the fabric. You flip it over after sewing. Then this is what you will be having. Can you see? So on this other side too, you place the lining this way. Okay, and then when you are done stitching on it, you flip it over, and this is how it will be looking. Have you seen? Okay, so now I'll just go to my machine and sew on it from here. I'll stitch down, not till the end. I'll stop about 2 inches before the end of the lining. Okay, so I'll leave out this piece so as for me to be able to work on the hemline easily. So first of all, I'll stitch this, and then I'll stitch on this side too. Then I show you what we'll do with the hemline. I'm done running my stitches, and also I've pressed on it, and this is what we are having. Okay, look at what we did. Look at the stitches here. I hope you can see. So after that, we flip it over on this other side, the same thing. Okay, flip over, and then we use our iron to press on it and press it very flat, as you can see. So now let's turn over and see how it looks. Can you see? Our slit is already forming. It's forming gradually. So the next thing we want to do, we want to finish up our hemline. Look at what we are having for now. So what we will do, just watch. We just hold it together like this. Okay, right side facing right side, like this, and then we stitch on it. Okay, I'll just use my pins to hold it down and show you. So this is what you'll be stitching on your machine. Can you see? You just stitch it all around, all through, and you do this for both sides. You do this here, and also too, you will do the same thing. Okay, just stitch like this, here to here. Okay, here we are done. So we just turn it over and see what we're having. We turn it over on this side and also on this side. This is what we are having. Let's turn it over. Can you see? Okay, this is it. So what you will do now, you just turn this like this. Can you see this? Okay, you use your pressing iron and press on it. Also on this other side, you do the same. So you just use your iron and press on this. Press it very flat, and you use your needle and matching thread to just tack it and make it stay. You can actually use your hemming gum. Place your hemming gum here before placing your hot iron on it, so that it will gum and stay very flat. And you can decide to leave it like this, but for durability's sake, you can still tack it, ensuring that the thread is not coming out from this side. Okay, doing that to conclude or to finish up this front part of the skirt. So now let's switch over to the back. So for the back of the skirt, it's exactly what you do on the lining that you'll be doing on the fabric. So whatever I'm doing here now, I'll do exactly the same thing on the lining, except for the zipper. So very first thing you want to do, you want to place the darts this way and then stitch on it. So after stitching the darts, I'll show you the next step. So I'm done stitching the darts. Can you see this? Okay. Alright, so next what I'll do, I'll measure about 7.5 inches from here down. Then from that point, I'll stitch down using 1 inch zip allowance. So I'm done doing that. This is what we're having on the right side. Okay, so take a look at it on the wrong side. So next we'll be attaching our zipper. I have this zipper here, and I'll be placing it this way. Okay, just watch me. I want to show you exactly how to fix the zipper. Okay, watch. So I'll place it like this, and then I'll pin it. On this part, you just ensure that this head of the zipper is not outside. You leave a space of about half an inch so that when you want to stitch in your band, there will be a space for that. So after leaving that space of about half an inch, you just pin it down. Okay, before you pin it down, you also ensure that you have taken in up to about 0.75 inches. Okay, like this. You just pin it till I've completed the pinning process. Can you see? Okay, so let's flip it over. This is how the zipper will appear after sewing. Can you see this? So I will just go there and follow my pins and just sew straight. Okay, down, and on this side straight down. Okay, now we have it here. Can you see? So let's just remove the pins since we have stitched it down. I hope you got this right. It's super easy, but so many persons do complain about how to fix a zipper neatly. Can you see this? So when we turn it over, this is what we are having. All right, now it's time to turn it with our lining to achieve neat finishing. So to achieve that, here is our lining. Remember, I mentioned that you sew the lining exactly the same way you did the fabric. The only difference is the inserting of the zipper. In the lining, there will be no zipper, and this is what we have here. Can you see? But we left the space for the zipper. So what we will do next, we'll just go in there and place the lining, the hem of the lining with the hem of the body of the skirt, the main fabric, this way, and then stitch through. Okay, so I'm done stitching both ends together. So now just flip it over this way. Can you see? So this is what we are having. We just allow the both waistlines to meet. So after turning it like this, you can just pin this lining and fabric together here at the waistline region. Okay, can you see? We do this first, and then with this you can now know your exact hemline. You use your iron and just press it and make it very flat. Okay, so after pressing on it, we have to finish up this opening. Okay, you have to finish up this waist, the zipper region. So to do that, you just remove this and then turn it this way, place this together like this. Can you see? Okay, so I'll be using my pin to secure this like this. So what I'll do now, I'll be stitching on this, on the zipper. I'll stitch on it down till the end of the zipper. So but as you are stitching, ensure that this is open. Okay, you are stitching on only one side. Then after that, you flip it over